Okay, it's planting day. It's the next day. We're gonna put in winter peas. That's what we're gonna start with. And we're gonna put beans in. So right now we gotta figure out the seeder and figure out our seed rate. So this is what we're using for a seeder. All right, now we gotta put just a few beans in to see check our rate and set our adjustment here. So this is our seeder adjustment. As we go over more, it puts more seed in. As we slide it over, it puts less seed in. This is the smallest setting it's got right here. So that's just big enough for probably one pea or one bean per rung. That's where we're going to start on a small setting, and we can always go more. We're going to back it up on the gravel and check it here so we can see the beans and the peas easier. Now we look right in the groove and we look for seed. There's seed there. Seed there. So there's plenty of seed coming out. So now what we need to do is just make sure it is at its smallest setting to put out the least amount of seed, because the seed is small. These peas are smaller than beans. And then let her rip. So what we're doing now is we're just going to figure out where we want the peas and the beans, because we're going to be putting turnips and radishes and other stuff in other areas. So we're going to figure it out, get a game plan, and get some seed in the ground before it rains, hopefully. We're going to cut this corner. We're going to put something different in this corner area. We're going to cut this corner, and we're going to start seeding it at an angle. We're going to leave this corner empty. And we're going to leave over by the apple trees empty. We're going to put something different there. Let's see how this is going to go. Nope, straight. There you go. So we have two passes here. Now we're going to start on the straight and just go down and back and fill in this area, because we came in at an angle and we went straight and we went at an angle. So we're going to fill in this to get everything straight, and we'll be good to go. Okay, this is our apple tree area. Apple trees have not done good the last few years, but yeah, all we do is hope for a good year every year, but this year's not going to be a good one. Last year was bad. They had blossoms. I don't know what happened, but just didn't turn out again this year. So that's Mother Nature for you. We're going to put some turnips, some brassicas in here. And we're going to have peas and beans out in the open. As you can see with the tire tracks, what we did here, we left this area open. From here over, around the apple trees, is going to be brassicas and turnips. And then out in the open field is going to be peas and beans. We'll see how that turns out. Only time will tell. Okay, so if you're gonna put seed in your bucket, you put the seed in the bucket that you're spreading. Like we're doing peas, we should have peas in the bucket, right? No, somebody put beans in the bucket. So guess what? Sometimes you gotta learn the hard way. Rip it like a man.
Yeah, it's just ripping the
Other end. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. See the tag? If you're gonna be seeding, you gotta have a little fun. Now I'll try to even it out with the divider. Just keep it even, back and forth. You're a food plot master in no time. Gotta check the lid though. Here. Alright, we're reloaded. Now we should be good. Well, that's the end of it. So when the seed runs out, then we switch over to beans. As you can see, we have rain coming. Let's hope we make it. Hats off to farmers out there. It can be a stressful environment. I don't know how you do it, but my hat's off to you. Because we are no stretch of imagination a farmer. This food plotting stuff is just a hobby. A fun hobby, but still a hobby. Farmers are professionals. I can respect that. All right, well, let's see if we get this done before the rain comes in. Well, we're waiting for Junior here to get done planting his peas, switch over to beans. We're gonna go to the truck. We're gonna draw just a quick little drawing on some scratch paper of what is planted where and when. So we have kind of a blueprint of what we're doing here today, so I don't forget. There's always good information for next year, where we set the seeder, where we planted everything, how it came up. Good information. I don't know if you're like me, I'm gonna forget by next year. So let's go to the truck, make a quick drawing, and by that time he should be out of peas, and we can switch over to beans. So at this point we're at just about less than half the field planted. So we're gonna check. This is our second bag we put in here already. So this is second 50-pound bag of seed. So we're going to check it on this pass and see where we're at. Okay, we're doing good, but I'm going to need to level out the seed in the seeder box. All right, we just got to keep an eye on it, because when we run out we need to know, so we're not wasting our time. But I don't think we're going to get the rest of the field done, but we'll see. Okay, the seeder we're using today is actually refurbished. We bought it from a guy over in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It's a 5-footer. I think it started out as a 10-footer. He cut it in half, refurbished to half, and repainted it, made sure it was all operational. The only thing I wish the grass seed box, he would have refurbished that, but that one's got big rust holes in it. But so it's good for beans and peas, the bigger seed. If we wanted to seed corn, we could use it for that, but we have no way of harvesting the corn, so we're not going to plant corn. But it works really good to drill it in with the peas and the beans. Works really well. So just a little backstory on the seeder. So as long as we're out here, I'll show you our stand of rhubarb. What I like to do is I like to take my cut grass and go around the rhubarb in the spring when it's small to keep the weeds down. It's not 100%, especially out here by the food plot, but it does help. So this has been picked twice already this year. Been a good year for rhubarb for whatever reason. You can see how the grass that I put on here did help keep the weeds down some. And I always like to rotor-till around the edges, so keep the weeds back a little bit, and I just have to deal with a lot less weeds. So I was able to till between the rhubarb and the woods. That helps a lot. So for you guys, I put out licking branches. We have a licking branch here too, on the edge of the field. Just hanging with some string. Seems to work pretty well. They come by and they'll rub on it and stuff. So it never hurts to put it up. It doesn't cost anything. Just take a branch and tie it to another branch overhanging the field. Works good. Here you can see the difference between the peas and the beans. So the beans are the yellow ones and the peas are the darker ones. They're real close to the same size, so we're not going to change the setting. As you can see, we're just about out in the seeder. So now we're just going to put the beans on top. Be nice solid bean sprouts there. If your seed rate's going to be the same, you're going to get half the distance, right?
Should be.
All right, let's go. Get her going.
A little over half is my guess. Bigger seat.
Yep, let's see. So now what we're gonna do, because you only bought one bag of beans, we're gonna go over it, starting on this end again by the rhubarb. We're gonna go down and back until we run out. So we're probably gonna get half of the coverage, so there'll be peas over 2/3 of the field, beans over half of that, and then we'll do brassicas on the other end. Then we pray for rain and hope it comes up, and we'll go from there. Keep notes for next year. So what I'm doing now, since he's going over it and we know how far we're gonna go, I put stakes in the corner. I got a stake in that far corner, this corner, the white post over there, the white post to the sign on the other edge of the field. You just grab whatever works. We happen to have these white posts with birdhouses on them. Works as a good marker. Yeah, just mark out. I didn't bring my flags with me, but mark out where you've seeded, where you haven't seeded, if you're not going to seed all in one day, because you will forget, especially if you cultipack everything that you planted is going to mix in with your other cultipack marks. Just remember, marks on the field are your friends. It's the only thing you got to know where you've seeded, where you haven't seeded. So plan it out. Better you plan it out, better your results are going to be. Nothing fancy here, just a manual broadcast spreader for the brassicas, the turnips, and the fertilizer. I don't know if you can see that seed or that fertilizer, but it seems to go about 10 feet to the left and 10 feet to the right. So you can do a field like this and nothing flat. Just keep filling her up, walking at a steady pace, cranking at a steady pace. And the last thing we need to do is cultipack it one last time and let it rain. Get good seed contact to the dirt, and yeah, cultipack it once right at the end and then let it rain. Hopefully you like this video. It's pretty basic, but showed some different equipment, and hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, ask your questions down in the comments. I'll do my best to answer it. And all right, well, have a good one.